Hello everyone and welcome to a new video for Trimble Virtual World. This is a quick video on the release notes. So let's get started into that. We are going to go to our free world. So I'm going to open my favorite scene, the Polytown. So now we have Bob working with this TSC7. And so you can see there is a lot of change since the latest release, and the first one I'm going to introduce is the side panel. So we can press 1 to open and retract some of this panel. So the number 1 is going to be to show the total station view, field of view. Under the number 2, we are going to have an overview map to give you a bit more context on where you are. To help you on larger site. On the number 3, we are introducing what we call the tool selection. So you have a wheel where you can customize which tools you are using. And so on the top right, you will have quite some information to show you which instrument you are selected. So if we go to the GPS, so we can go to the target. We can see that right now I'm using a target. I can turn it off or back on. If I go to the GPS, now we have the capability. So we included the latest 780 on the last release. Now you have the possibility to switch between a R10 and a R780. And as well, because there is some scene where you work in a tunnel, where the GPS doesn't make sense to be there, we can turn it off. So I'm going to turn it back on. Probably another one which is quite interesting, it's the markers. So we have been asked quite often to place different type of markers. So we have the control mark, we have the spray mark, and we have the pegs. So that's asset which was already available in different scenes, but now you can really do them. So quick example, I'm going to spray on the ground right now, but maybe I want to place a survey control marker on my scene. So I'm going to go right over here and I'm going to place a marker. So I'm using the control X to place, or again the controller like on the previous one, and we can really place as many as we want. Those are one we have its pegs. And you can as well select the color of the pegs you will be placing in the ground. We have been reported that the white wasn't always visible, so now you can have, for example, a red, which is maybe a bit more visible in the scene. So all your pegs will be of this color. We're probably looking at having customized, so you could change the color of each individual pegs. At the moment, it's really more visual aspect. So if I change it, all of them are changing. So you can really define the color who's best suit you. So you can see right here, the white wasn't great to see them. So this is really the UI in-game. You have the access to the menu. There is some information about instrument height and GPS height. We just released with a typo. This will need to be corrected. The height over there is wrong. Same for the target. You can still access it using the F6. The F6 provide you the true one, which will be used. So ignore them. We'll fix it in the next release. Lat long. We're still trying to figure out what we want to do. Do we want to show the current GPS location, or do we want to show the base station, which is actually the one we configure for your site? So something to explore, but as well maybe we want to click on it and switch between total station angle and distance and lat long information. Time and date, still to define some. We have a couple of ideas around that. We will come back to it. So this is really everything about the UI. There is a big change on it, and you can use all this aspect. So again, place a toll station, you can, or maybe I should mention this one. There is a teaser. So if you go to the tutorial station, you are going to see the S6. Amazing. There is possibility to do some stuff with it, but it's not ready for really using. So use it if you want, but don't expect much at the moment. We'll sort it in the next couple of releases. Okay. The big one, big news. This is really for education, trying to create tutorial, lesson, or whatever you want. So we talked often about a campaign. A campaign might be, I'm going to build a road, I'm going to build a building, I'm going to do something like that. And under that, you are going to break it into different quests. A quest is more like a tutorial, a lesson, something you want to teach someone. So for example, on the construction site, you will want to set up control mark. So you are going to learn how to set up control mark on your construction site. That is going to be one quest. Or to connect, or to do a traverse or something like that, this will be another quest. The idea behind, you could create this tutorial without having the need to understand how to code. So it's a no coding environment, like a city builder. You can build your scene. So when you create a new one, I'm going to call it quest 3, okay? From there, you can select one of the scene, and so the idea behind is you are going to use as a base map one of this scene and build on top of it. So I'm going to take Polytown, and I'm going to say my coordinate will be 43, 172. I think I should put minus 43 because I'm in New Zealand, and I'm going to say create. And so before we was on a RPG style where you really play the role of someone. Now we are more into a strategy environment. So when you start use the keyboard, you are going to navigate slightly differently. So you have your base map, you have Bob working here, and you are going to start building on top of that. So I'm going to take a couple of the assets. I have a list of assets I can use. So for example, I'm going to add in this scene a digger. I'm going to add my site office using the keyboard E or Q. You can rotate this asset, okay? So I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to say it's placed like this. But finally, maybe I'm going to say, oh, this digger is at the wrong place. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to move it maybe right there, okay? For example, if you do a class, you might want to set up a couple of control marks for the student to use. So I'm going to put one on the footpath, and I'm going to take another one, and I'm going to say, this is your backside, okay? But when you jump on a construction site, usually you don't know where are your control point. So as a professor, you might want to bring the attention. So you can get this blue shiny light, and that is going to be a prompt. So the people are going to see that in the scene, they are going to want to walk to it, and now you have the chance to give them a message. What do you want to do? So for example, control mark CHC001, and I'm going to say place total station. Yeah, okay. And I'm going to save this message, and maybe now I want to bring the attention to the user to his second control mark, and I'm say this is or say CHC002, and I'm going to say line of sight is blocked. Found a different control mark. Okay, and so that will be, so I'm going to place another control mark in the scene, and that will be the one, but they will have to find it. Let's say something like that. So I created my tutorial, now I'm happy. We are going to look at importing more assets. So at the moment it's just a quick demo, so you will have the ability to get more assets. We are very interested to know what are the assets you want, potentially being importing from the 3 warehouse or probably from Connect as well. So now I go back to the main menu using the M keyboard to go to the main menu. And now we have the quest number 3. And so you can edit it. So if you want to improve it, make a change to it, you can edit it. But I'm going to go into the run mode. And now we're back onto our RPG style. And now the ID is Bob is around the scene. So I'm going to check my first mark over there. And what's happening when I walk in the light, now it is telling me what to do. So, oh, I need to place my total station. So I'm going to place my total station over this mark. And I'm pretty much on it. It's not going to be perfect. So for example, if I do a station setup, I might have some residue, something interesting to teach students. And you go to your other control mark, and now we have another type of message. This is your line of sight, and the student will have to do. The idea really behind is we could be tracking everything which is happening, so we can give a scoring, say you are 50% through your tutorial, and we can feed back into the learning environment. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we have for this new release. There is a lot of change. We are looking really for some feedback. Go to the early experience to tell us more what you think, what you found, what you want. We are listening at what you want. Okay, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next release. See you.